the chicanes. You don't need understeer through and feel. More turning performance on that Yamaha, because there he is in third place. He's closing in now. He'll be lining up a move here on the brake. Straight away he's gone for it. What a time to ride on board with Quartararo. Down the hill, Fabio Quartararo. Of course it would be increasing his lead in the World Championship as it stands right now.
This racetrack thinking, well, if I make a move here, I need to then pull out a bit of a gap in this fourth sector to Lee Spargaro, who, as mentioned, was really closing in on the leaders. He will be close in attention last time around at 146.9, the fastest rider on track. The beast is far from done.
Not the great first lap, we dropped down to 12th. Nothing that Fabio Quartararo can. Donato, whoa, that's really tight. That reminded me of Marquez, Petrucci and Davizio. After that real close instant there with Bezzecchi and Marini, Quartararo still comes out of San Donato.
So having a knock-on effect further ahead of him, because Pecco Bagnaglia's lead is now up over 1 second. It was 9 hold off the VR46 Ducatis, has lost another quarter of a second. So at a section of the circuit, he needs to try and put as many bike lengths between himself and these Ducatis at 0.1 kilometre main straight. We're just past half distance.
Yeah, you can see as well, Aleix Espargaro has been sat on the back, is ahead of him. He can't find a way through in the slipstream and then outbrake them going into San Donato. 10th place, a battle of the Hondas there between Marc Marquez and Taka Nakagami. Operation on that right humerus bone in America next week. He's just not enjoying racing. He said, more world titles and a lot more race wins in his pocket if he does recover full fitness. Ducati teammates, it's going to be advantage Bezzecchi. He'll have the inside. That's going to be really thought he was going to be clipping the rear tyre of Fabio Quartararo. Great battle this then, raging behind. It's all concertinaing up here. Quartararo second, Bezzecchi still in third, then Marini.
Marini certainly would have enjoyed all the praise and plaudits that have been flying the way of his teammate Marco Bezzecchi so wide there. That's going to leave him exposed with Johan Zarco right behind him. Bastianini's charge certainly exceptional. On the last lap he pulled 3/10 back on Pecco Bagnaia in the third set to ensure that he was clear of any overtake down the main straight. Once again, let's see if Quartararo can...
Going through Casanova and Cervelli was maybe a little bit fortunate that Zarco didn't sweep back in to that Spargaro's upgraded engine on that RSGP Aprilia. Quartararo there now. He moves from the Italians behind him going into the first corner. See Bezzecchi running that slightly wide pit lane entrance there on the factory Ducati that will lead at the end of lap 13. His advantage one to make sure that he's not under attack into San Donato from the two Ducatis behind him. I think he has. All Aleix Espargaro keeping Bastianini at bay right now.
Well, there is the fastest bike kilometers an hour. That's not his main focus at the moment. He's in a battle at the moment for 13th. Just ahead of him, it's Bastianini. Well, it's one of the...
It's the beast. It's Bastianini. Can you believe it? Didn't he? And he's thrown another big World Championship points here. A crash at turn going into Casanova and Cervelli on the previous lap. And the beast blows it again, losing the Fini. 3 times he hit the deck in Le Mans. He was able to win the race in France 2 weeks ago. On their home turf.
And that's the effect it has on the World Championship. He would drop 28 points behind, 11 points off the lead. He's now got past Luca Marini, who's faded a bit on this lap. He's nowhere near the back. It's a fully gap this battle, is he, at the moment, but he's just about far enough up ahead until lap 14. Quartararo matching Bagnaia. It's essentially in that fourth sector.
That mistake by Bastianini continues a shocking trend for him. Let's just going into Corantaio. That was a block pass, wasn't it? Squeezing Marini out wide. That trend, that shocking trend continues then for Bastianini. He won the race in Qatar, 11th in Mandalon, and DNF at the next Grand Prix here in Mugello. He's got the speed to emerge as a genuine series title contender to succeed Fabio Quartararo as the Motogp Italian Grand Prix, which he won here last year. He has looked like he's broken the resolve of Bezzecchi. Bagnaia still holding that advantage at the front at 1.2 seconds. He's found about a 10th.
You'll see what happens through this third sector where Fabio Quartararo has generally been strong. Quartararo pulls back 3/10 1 second, but expect Quartararo to lose a lot of that advantage that he's just clawed back in this fourth sector. Just ahead of him, Marco Bezzecchi, though, who's never been on a MotoGP podium, of course. This is just a 10th faster than Bagnaia, 47.5 for Fabio Quartararo, the fastest landman of This is the battle for 5th.
Yeah, this is potentially going to be Luca Marini's best ever dry race result. And switch over to the latest spec factory Ducati GP22. Pecco Bagnaia, Mr. Unflappable, isn't he? But we saw that shield kind of broken somewhat last time out in London. He's looking really strong here for a famous home victory in Mugello. Let's quickly pop down to...
Odhe is doing consistent 48 threes, chasing Morbidelli. That around there, Marquez, pretty impressive.
Long lap penalty as well. He's right on the case of Frankie Morbidelli, who's having another humiliation here for Morbidelli on home soil. He's 17th at the moment, nowhere near it. He's still there in third. The scary Mugello helmet, well, there's been nothing scary about if he could complete the job here today from the front row for the first time in MotoGP. Co finally finds a way through, then back on Luca Marini. That's the battle for 5th place.
TM rider is doing a superb job, the South African. He is way and far, 4 seconds clear of the battle involving his teammate Miguel Oliveira, so a sensational job from lap 1. You could just see him in the back of the picture there, chasing the battle between Zarco and Marini.
Quartararo clearly the only rider capable of running at the front on the factory Yamaha Stream factory, no question about that. Miguel Oliveira may be squeezed out of the factory team in 20 into Scarperia. Aleix Espargaro then, surely not, he's going to make it. Been firmly in title contention. It will be another podium, a first podium in the Premier Class here at Williams on the old 500 two-stroke that he here back in 2000. There's been some barondory. What's going through the mind though of that young man as well? A load more World Championship points thrown.
The title, so Aleix Espargaro, if he can hold them off here, he should have third place under control. Breaks. He's not close enough to make a real move on Aleix Espargaro, whose last lap around was up ahead to Fabio Quartararo. Can he make that up in the last 6 laps? It's going to take a risk himself. He is not letting Bagnaia away with this easily. Just a second margin. Oh, yet.
Are we seeing another Jerez here? You remember when Aleix Espargaro Grand Prix couldn't really make an overtake, wary of the front tyre temperature and pressure on that. Nothing that Miller and Marquez had in response. It looks like it might be history repeating itself here. Aleix Espargaro trying to use his speed superiority here now and cement that third place in
Bagnaia in the second sector. He's pulled a 10th back, so it's under a second. This is the part of the lap where Fabio Quartararo, so 7/10 the lead. Quartararo can sniff a potentially unlikely. They did not make a single mistake between them, but Quartararo has the bit between his teeth.
Yeah, Bagnaia advantage over the line is just 9/10 of a second. He gains 2/10. Marco Bezzecchi's resolve, the stubborn resolve of the Italian. He's now nearly half end's work for Bezzecchi, worried to take a career best 4th place from a career first front. The top speed of his Ducati, 356 kilometers an hour. That's slightly less than mind-boggling top speed record in MotoGP. Now then, Fabio Quartararo's got that high ages of this Italian Grand Prix, although Bagnaia has responded here on this lap. He's been 3/10 already on Quartararo in the first 2 splits on this lap.
Yeah, so if you combine, Quartararo combined just lost 4/10 of a second to Pecco Bagnaia in those parts. A very solid job out here in front. He's not making any mistakes at the moment. Of course, it was a mistake that cost him so dear, ultimately crumbled. That's what Quartararo will be looking to do at this stage. Just ask the question. Will represent a good day's work for Fabio Quartararo in the grand scheme of things in the World Championship with his at the moment.
Carola Bagnaia there, the sister of Pecco Bagnaia, who does all of his media. Got no fingernails left, that's for sure. She watches her sibling here potentially on course in an Italian team at the Italian Grand Prix to win. It doesn't get any better than that. His home crowd. Fabio Quartararo though, keeping him honest as you knew he would do. Quartararo down that start-finish straight sees Quartararo slip nearly 1.5 seconds behind Bagnaia.
Here, still on target at the moment for 4th place. We've got just 3.5 laps to go. Oh, lapping in the 147s is Marco Bezzecchi. That is not too shabby at all. Marini just behind him in last time around. That was faster than the trio of bikes up ahead of him. Aleix Espargaro looks like he's going to have it. Could be zeroing in on a top 6 finish.
Again through the sort of twistiest on that factory Yamaha. In fact, he's recovered half a second in sectors 2. Ducati just starts to eat up the miles down this long start-finish straight. You can see the left handlebar over the line, then the advantage was just a fraction over a second. Bagnaia and a dream victory here in Mugello. He would have dreamt of this moment when he was a kid. Team, well, it's in his hands now, isn't it?
Fabio Di Giannantonio, the career best finish in the MotoGP class. He got his first points last time around when he finished 13th. Track at the moment though, he's just behind Di Giannantonio. How frustrating for Aprilia. Maverick Vinales.
That time by Vinales is nearly half a second quicker than the race leader Pecco Bagnaia. Race pace, Maverick Vinales has got top 6, top 10 pace on that factory Aprilia on a Sunday afternoon. As this man remains on course for victory. They've been in this position before, of course, with Danilo Petrucci and Andrea Dovizioso. Bagnaia's named to their winning list here in their home Grand Prix in Mugello. There'll be a big move on quickly to Barcelona next weekend, but there'll be a lot of Prosecco flowing at the decathlon lap of this Italian Grand Prix, and it's Italian Pecco Bagnaia that leads by 1.2.
See on the left-hand side of your screen, the gap is back down to a tenth of a second. Marco Bezzecchi just did a 1:47. He's chasing down to Gian Antonio. Bezzecchi is quicker than the 3 riders ahead of him at this stage of the race. Just
now he's cut thousands and thousands of laps around this Mugello circuit, being part of the VR40 physically demanding technical circuit. But Marco Bezzecchi's appeared here on a Motogp bike. He's really strong on that factory Aprilia in the first 2 sectors. He's been able to gap, hasn't he, Bezzecchi, the Pelagio for the final time, and it's going to be for the penultimate time. Bagnaia, what's his advantage? Still valuable 20 points here. I've tried everything to make Pecco Bagnaia crack. It hasn't narrow-nosed. These 20 points in Mugello against 9 Ducatis he was facing coming in by him, and it would increase. He's leading the world championship with a latest Spargo on course for yet another.
Over the course of this lap on Marco Bezzecchi, riding on board on the left-hand side of your screen. Bezzecchi very, very good on the brakes though, and holds on to 4th place. We're on the final lap though with the Ducati power and the brilliance of Bagnaia. Looks like he's going to prove to
be the master of Mugello, but it looks like we have a new Mugello maestro coming up at that 4th consecutive 3rd place. He's been brilliant over the last couple of laps. Johan Zarco here, still a top ride by Bezzecchi, was to take 5th place here. Pecco Bagnaia to go. It's been no problemo so far on home soil. His home fans that are to the 3rd sector. He comes with a 2nd advantage over world champion Fabio Quartararo.
Taking spots for him at this stage of the lap. Alicia Spargo then clear of Johan Zarco, and Find is all over the back of Luca Marini. You can see them in the background. 1 corner to go though.
Take on an Italian machine in the Italian Grand Prix, and an Italian team win here in 2022. He takes a famous home victory. Pecco Bagnaia by Spargo is 3rd for the 4th consecutive Grand Prix. His 5th podium of the season. Marini 6th, Binder 7th, Nakagami 8th, Oliveira 9th, with Marc Marquez rounding out the seasons here in Mugello.
We've got Marc Marquez running on the top 10. We've got a dead heat for across the finish line. It currently shows Gian Antonio running in 11th place. I'd imagine Vinales might well be given that. They'll consult the video first and the photo finish, but a video finish. Bagnaia was faultless in the end.